Good morning, everybody. We got us a brand new toy today. Well, if you want to call it a toy, we got us, I don't know what brand it is, but I'm used to the Garfield brand, so I'll just call it a Garfield. But essentially, this is a box blade with hydraulics and wheels. I just bought this, picked it up for a really good price. I just couldn't beat it. It's 8 foot wide. I've used the 12 foot and I really like the 12 foot, but they're very expensive. And so are these 8 foots. But I just found this one for a price I could not turn down. So the blade on it is pretty wore out. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's put you down in here. I don't know how well you can tell that, but I mean, it is just wore to nothing. And it's like got a opposite of a belly. I mean, it's concave in there. So it is working. Like if I'm just digging really hard, then it will definitely dig out. But as far as smoothing and really getting down and smoothing, it's just not doing well. What we've got over here, we got a new blade. My father-in-law actually has had these for years. This is the same length. It's a little bit of a different model, but I think with some modifying, I can make this work. It's pretty close to new. It's not perfectly new, but if I eyeball down it, it's not bad. I think with a little bit of work, I can get that back going again. But I'm really excited about it. The tires are actually, both tires are actually flat. They're just really strong tires, so they're holding up. But I got to get some new valve stems in there, and then I'll be able to get some air in, and then I've got to get this blade on. Now, one downside to this box blade right here is that it does not pivot, so it will only go up and down, which is still worlds better than using a traditional box blade, like a 3-point hitch box blade. But it does not take that much to build the articulation right there. I'm fairly certain that I can build that, and I'll just have to add one more hydraulic ram and get that, or one more hydraulic cylinder, and get that to articulate. I'll have to put in, I'm thinking like a big round flat, 2 pieces of flat plate right here that are round that will pivot, and then some kind of a guide system on both sides, something like that. They used, on this one right here, they actually have a water tank. I've seen them before, well, where they'll build like a trough that you can actually put in weights like that. And what that does is when you're just running it like this, or you're leveling, you don't have that much weight on it, okay? But once you put this all the way down and you're trying to dig, and then you raise that up off the ground, all of a sudden that turns into a weight for this, helping this to dig down. There's one more improvement that I think that would really make this, and I don't know why they've never made blades like this, because I really love these things right here. The improvement is it needs digger teeth. It really does. And box blades have digger teeth. But I think if I had those teeth that, I would only use it a handful of times every now and then. But if I had those teeth every now and then, it would come in handy. Right now on this driveway, we've been breaking this driveway up. It would really help to get that, to be able to break that up. So I'm going to walk y'all down the driveway. We're trying to fix the driveway. If y'all didn't get the memo the last couple videos, we had a huge flood here and it really washed out a lot of stuff in our drive. And it's really just time to get this fixed and back right again. The water got to where it would run down. Like when we first did the drive, it was higher, but it's like living here, the driveway, I don't know if it's settled or what, but the water has actually started to run down here rather than out in there. It was never as sloped as I would like it to be, because I had to do the work myself. And it's just, the ground, the hard red clay is just too hard for my equipment, or it was back then. When I first moved here, I didn't have a lot of really good equipment, but it's really better for a dozer. So I think we're just gonna have to bite the bullet. You can see here, we've pulled in a lot of this rock, and there's a lot of dirt and sand and things like that in it, because it washed, when it washed all up, it washed a whole bunch of sand down into it. But as you drag and grade back and forth, that will all silt down and end up silting away with the rain, and you'll end up with rock. So don't worry about that if that's something you're doing. But I'm trying to save as much rock as I can, because down here is where the problem really is going to be. Like, we have got to get the water that's coming down here, we've got to get it routed and running that way out into the pasture. Okay, that's the first step. And then slightly raise the level of the driveway there. But other than that, we're pretty good there. But you can see we're really pulling a lot of rock. All of that rock we're pulling up to here. But down in here, what we need to do is actually concave the driveway more. We need to get more of a crown in there. There used to be more of a crown, but it has definitely settled. But like I said, there's only so much that I could do with my tractor when I built this. So I'm trying to save as much of this rock as I can, and that's one reason why I just bit the bullet and went and bought that blade. And it really does seem like that sometimes when life gets rough, if you just stay patient, the Lord ends up blessing you in a different way. I went to Facebook Marketplace and I found that blade, and it was just a great deal. And I've been looking for one of those blades since I've bought this place, and they've been so expensive I just couldn't afford it. And then all of a sudden I found a great deal on the blade the day it was posted, drive out there and went and got it. And I hardly ever find deals like that on Facebook Marketplace. So definitely thankful for that. But you can see here, we're actually getting down into clay here, and you can see over in here there's still a lot of rock, because over time the ground has the water has actually washed some of this out. So we really want to get that done right. Also, you can see in here, I don't know how well you can see it, but this ditch when I first cut it out, like I said, I had to do all the work, and I've got a couple videos on it when I did it. But it's just such hard ground that it's just washed out, and it just hasn't been great. And so it's gotten so rough, I can't even mow it or maintain it, you know. So I'm hoping that I can drag most of this rock out and save it, because it is pretty expensive. And then get my dozer guy in here and actually get him to build all of this up and make this driveway right. Everything from there, right about right there, down was already built. It was built years ago by an oil field company. I think that it still needs a bit of work. These ditches right here are actually pretty good, but the entire pond came flooding over, and it just filled all of those ditches completely up. So I'm gonna have to cut all of that stuff out and everything. What we're doing is we're pulling all of this rock that way to the good part of the driveway up there, and then we're gonna rebuild and fix all of this. And then pulling as much as we can up there and doing the same thing. This whole stretch in here needs to get rebuilt. Some of it could be, we could let go for longer, but if we're gonna have somebody out here, we might as well get it all done all at the same time. But I know one thing, having that blade is gonna change. It's gonna be a huge game changer for me, just now that I've actually got it. It's 8 foot, so that's smaller than I'd like to have. But honestly, my 90 horse tractor is going to handle that 8 foot a little bit better. And in a lot of places, that 8 foot's actually going to be pretty handy. I will tell you one thing, and then I'm going to sign off. If I was going to preordain a marriage for a woman, and I was going to suggest a way that she would find this man, okay, I would not tell her to find the man that was really good at backing a cattle trailer. Instead, I would tell her to find the man that was really good at backing one of these Garfield blades. Those blades, the way the wheels are positioned and the length of everything, the way it's set, you really have to be careful backing one up. So when you watch a guy that's really good at running that equipment, and he can run that backward and move it just right, no problems, that guy right there, that's a man. Now he's gonna have some neck problems, but that's a real man. So that's what I would tell her. All right, guys, until next time.